card, we're going to be using the Pagoda cartridge, and I'm going to be using this sample card that they put in the front as a sort of inspiration for this card. I'm using the colours that I've put down in front of me, and the papers come from the basic grey pad Indian Summer, which has got some really beautiful, rich, vibrant colours in here. What I love about these little pads is that they always sort of mix together really well, which is nice. And then the pale sheet I took from this basic grey manila pad, which has got some really nice neutrals in, and I just took that one simple plain sheet in because that kind of blended in with the others. Okay, so I've got my papers here, and I've got my base card which I've already folded, and I've just put in a blank insert just so that I may well stamp a greeting in that later, but at the moment it's just blank and it's drying off. Okay, so first of all we're going to start to do our layering. These are the two colours that two sheets that we're going to use for our actual little pagoda doll, so put those to one side for the moment, and then we're going to start doing our layering of our card. So first of all I want that one, then I'm going to put that sheet, and then I'm going to put that one. Okay, so here goes. Right, so this first one I'm just going to turn it over, and I'm going to just mark with a pencil where I want to cut, and I'm just going to get my little guillotine and cut that on that pencil like so. Put that little piece to one side, and then lay that down, just using a little glue runner. Try and make sure we get all the edges, and as usual I'm getting completely stuck to the paper. Okay, so I'm going to place this slightly higher because I'm going to put some sort of greeting or something at the bottom here, so that's where it slightly differs to that. What I'm trying to do is match the gaps at the side with the gap at the top, so it kind of looks like an even border. So just place that down like so, and then we're going to get our next piece. Okay, so then I'm going to turn this one over, and I'm going to mark that with a pencil mark on 2 points, just to give us some sort of guide for the cutting. Oh, noisy. And I'll take the thin piece first, cut that off, and then this bit like so, and then let's hope that fits in there nicely. Yay! Glue that down, centre that like so, and then the last piece is this piece. Now I want to make sure that I get this lovely section showing, so I'm going to turn it over, and that will be there for that part is in that corner there, so I'm going to mark it on these sides here, and I only want a tiny little bit of that other one to show, so we're going to cut down there, and then let's do that bit first so that I know where I am. Get myself in a muddle otherwise. Cut that piece off, and then that's what I need to do, mark this top section. There we go. Oops. So a bit about there, I think. Helps if you have a pencil that actually writes. And then cut that piece off. and then glue it all down, all the edges. This is why you shouldn't glue over your card, because you actually go on the card if you're not careful. Luckily that was on the piece that I'm actually going to glue it on anyway. And then just centre that like so. Okay, so then we're going to go over to the Cricut and we're going to cut out our little doll. So now we're here, I'm going to cut out this doll here, and I'm going to do the base and the layer. So I want the base, which is the dark colour here, to be actually my dark colour, which in my case is this lovely red, and then the white colour to be the layer. Okay, and I've set it to blade 5, pressure max, speed high, not max. So, and I'm going to set the size at 4 1/4. Hopefully that's okay. And then the next thing is to find which little doll it is, and it's this one here. So the first thing we're doing is the base layer, so we're just pressing that one for the dark, and then press cut. Okay, so now we're gonna I always forget this, line return, and zoom across to the white, and then do shift and our little doll. Everything else seems the same. Wait for it to come up just to make sure. There we go, and then press cut. Okay, and now unload and back to the table. As you can see, I've put the little doll together. I didn't like the little flowery bits that went in the centre, so I've picked out some little flowers myself from my little box. They're almost slightly foamy, they're quite sweet. So I'm just going to pop those down. Just a bit of this tacky adhesive on the back. Just pop those in the centre. Try and get hold of it without getting glue on everything. Like so. I think that gives it a bit of dimension as well. And then I take the card and pop a little doll on. Oh, I did want to just go around the edges with some ink, like so. Give a bit of extra something. Place her in the centre. Okay, so then the next thing we need to do, I'll just zoom you out a bit, is our sentiment at the bottom. Our sentiment on my rocker block, which I'm just going to put my card to one side, which says sending you encouragement, which is from the Anna Griffin Sentiments range, and I'm just going to use this piece of paper here that I cut my little doll out of, and I'm going to cut, I'm going to stamp onto that. So we'll just ink up our stamp. Like so, plenty of ink. And then I'm going to try go down in this corner here because it's got that sort of aged look, which I think is quite nice. And rock. There we go. It's always so much harder trying to do that around the camera. Let me just zoom you in. There we go. So now I'm just going to cut round that and mat that onto one of the pattern pieces of paper. We've got some scraps left, so we might find that they actually work. It might be ink. Rather than matting that anymore, we're going to just put that on some foam tape and do it just as it is, like that. I might just ink around the edges of this one though. first. I think that will just look quite nice. Okay, so just let that dry. So now we're going to put our sentiment on at the bottom there. Put it off to one side, like so. And then I've done a ribbon on a pop dot, which I'm just going to, oops, not put there, just down there, like so. And there's our finished card. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you again soon. Bye!